is fucking cold out here, but it's not any other day. I guess the shade is killing it, but this is just fucking ridiculous. I don't. We'll see how everything turn out. I'm trying to stand in the sun, but the fucking the Democrats in a judgment again, like I see it. Everybody's pointing out the same thing with the judgment in New York. It makes no sense. It literally makes no sense. And like one expert pointed out, like Democrats love experts, you'd have to go after every single real estate developer because that's what every single one does. Every single one. You like you said, all over the world, not just the country. Every developer in the world. So on the continent of Africa, since it's a black woman, Letitia James, they're talking about Africa and African American. Continent of Africa, the real estate developers, King Obabubu. I don't know, I made that name up. He does the same thing. Their banks, the banks weren't even mad at Trump. But the judge, the corrupt judge, wouldn't even let him testify. But the thing is, we'll see what goes down so far. The truckers, and it looks like all of them are on board for this boycott, ain't going to deliver to New York City no more starting today. So we will see if what goes down. Because one thing, my first thought is, you know what, they doing all that robbing and stealing anyway inside New York. And they're telling people like to go to the, make a run on the stores because, by maybe tomorrow or, by the end of the week ain't going to be nothing left. It's like all the thieves going to go and start looting and robbing. The word might get out already to go loot and rob because the truckers are boycotting. This is the real deal. It's just, but they're not doing a blockade. Like, remember a couple years ago they did in Canada, they did the blockade. And that's another thing, the military is begging people to come back. YouTube be giving people strikes. I ain't say nothing about the effectiveness of anything. I'm just saying, even the military is asking people they put out to come back. And you know why? And that's a fact. And then you got, so the point is though, this boycott, that means nothing. No food, mainly no food, but nothing. The other stuff I guess they can do without or go. But I mean, all the stores, people who ain't, there's plenty of New Yorkers ain't got cars. Even rich folks, they native New Yorkers. I've been living here my whole life. I don't have a license. They don't. They really don't even have a license because they native. They still, they just never learned. It's like these Democrats never. Remember, that's been the title of my videos for the last couple of weeks. They never learn. But they don't care about each other. They don't. Well, we already know they don't care about us, but they don't care about each other. So they neighbors up north, and the stupidity of the black woman DA who got the judge who brought the case and got that corrupt judge. Like, and you don't have to understand or know real estate. They keep explaining. Every real estate person, whether you're a Democrat or independent or Republican, knows that's the way the game goes. It's not a game. And all these, so I bet there's a bunch of so-called professional black women who got properties and own strip malls or something like that, or got a standalone salon or something. It's like they could come after you then, because that means you lied on that form, because she tried to clean it up and say the reason they're going after them. Look, like I said, they came out because I came out. But the reason they going after him is because he lied. She's saying, oh, he lied on the New York form. That means every real estate developer in New York lied on a New York State form. In her head, dumb bitch is like, no, you get a house, or we'll say since it's development, property is worth 200. This guy, he explains it, an expert. And this is on CNN. CNN is a Democrat channel. And that's how you'll see the guy keeps making sure to say he's not political because he knows better. He'll want to piss off his buddies, the Democrats. But he can't, he has to tell the truth. He knows it because, they just they didn't brainwash themselves. There's things that they could keep lying about and lying that we all know that they're lying, like the whatever, I won't say it, but J6 will just say that, and they could just keep lying and keep lying and keep. But now they're getting into things that you can't lie about without affecting your own people, without showing for a fact that you're playing picks and chooses. And that's going to really spark a civil war. Now you're going to have to, it's proven that you're prosecuting certain people. Because all real estate developers do the exact same thing. You get your own appraiser, they tell you how much this is going to be worth after you do this, and you can get the loan. Then the bank gets their appraiser, and like they said, you go back and forth and you try to haggle, and you come to a deal, and you get it. That's why you be having them, even like I said, the movie that's about might not, it just got a little side plot. That's the stress he's going under. He's under a lot of stress at the job and on this new project, this new construction project. The movie ain't got to do nothing with the construction. It's just part of the plot. That's why he's under stress, because he got to come in under this amount. Because they can't get no more money. Because that's all the bank gonna give them. That's all is connected. That's what the project. Now, if you come in on the budget, this and that, but that's the budget, exactly, the budget. These idiots kept talking about he lied, and matter of fact, yeah, this is the video. That he lied, and he did something illegal, committed a crime, and didn't make it so bad. The city that never sleeps. Make it so bad, I was on the black folks YouTube channels, and you got, especially the ones run by you got a black female YouTuber. Because you got all these women, black women, yeah, Trump, he gonna see, he finally gonna feel it. He gonna feel it. He had to pay the piper. All this stupid shit. He committed a crime. He didn't commit a crime. There is no fucking crime. And these are black women. It's like, I can't believe it. You can't be that stupid. And it's not even like stupid that you don't know. Okay, so you don't know real estate. But the experts all over the world are telling you that's how it's done in every country around the world. It's been like that before even Trump was born. That's how it's been. It's been like that before Joe Biden was born. It's always been, at least in modern age, that's how it's been. And it's like they just keep trying to, think they rubbing it in, and that's why people aren't mad because you're right and Trump got busted. That's why I keep telling, this is how shit really started in history. When people got this and that and beheaded, all types of revolutions. This is how you just keep doing this stupid shit that people know this is insane. What are y'all fucking doing? It's like y'all, like I said, I kept saying these folks are suicidal. Right now you got the truckers, so how are they going to force them to start delivering? And this is like Canada, the blockade. Trudeau forced them to move their trucks, but supposedly he's getting in trouble for that because he violated, because he froze their bank accounts. This all even Canada, it's against the Canadian Constitution, for the government to go in and they, emergency powers, and he wasn't supposed to do that. But we'll see what happens with that. But what are they gonna try to? This ain't Canada. This America, man. You know what America is. 2-8. Yeah, so what's gonna go down? And who says the cops or the National Guard gonna be on their side with these Democrats? Who says these folks are gonna be on their side and just help, and make the truckers, start delivering? How you gonna make them? There's a difference between a blockade and making a move, but simply, I'm not going, I'm not driving. What you gonna do? You gonna force him to get in his truck and drive to New York?
New York City, changes that have major transportation lines about to break down as working class truck drivers band together to once again take matters into their own hands to set the record straight in their minds, to reinforce decency, to fix the mistakes of our ruling class, protest government overreach. We saw this happen.
And I think that's a mistake. They ain't our ruling class. They are fraudulent. I'll leave it at that. That's the end of it. You could, till we get YouTube back in check. Like I said, hopefully, everybody get a Twitter account. I mean, the new Twitter X, and tell Elon to buy YouTube.
Back in 2022 in Canada with the Freedom Convoy protesting the Trudeau government over mandates. A protest that worked, forced major attention to an issue that otherwise corporate media would have ignored, and forced change. The same thing happened a few weeks ago down in Texas, where thousands of truckers did the same thing over the porous southern border, or tried to do at least. That event wasn't nearly as large nor caused much of a disruption, and therefore didn't force any change. But this time, things may be different, as this time truckers plan on protesting one specific area, the island of New York City, with only a few points of ingress. A city that relies on truckers to make their deliveries, to supply and haul their food, supplies. In fact, almost 90% of all everyday items get to New York City via truck. Not train, not boat, but truck, which makes this trucker protest notable and possibly very important. But before we get started, thank you for liking and sharing these videos. It really helps me out. And consider subscribing to the channel so you don't miss these regular updates. Also, don't forget to check out our new daily show over on the Notify. Chicago One Ray posted this video on his X account. This video did a daily show over on the Notify America YouTube channel. The link's in the description. So truckers from across the United States, from LTL drivers in the general metropolitan area around New York to long-haul truckers from around the country, are banding together on social media, vowing to refuse any deliveries into New York City starting tomorrow on Monday. All of this started this weekend when a truck driver by the name of Chicago One Ray posted this video on his X account. This video has since gone mega viral, seen tens of millions of times, and reposted on other popular accounts. I'm going to play the video in full.
Tens of millions, and he just put it out yesterday.
In a minute, because it's not just this video. This video started the whole thing. Right now there's like this movement that's grown all over social media this weekend. Truckers saying starting tomorrow on Monday, they vow to refuse any New York City delivery. We're talking truckers from all over the country. We're going to look at all of this, but just for some context, they're protesting the weaponization of our court system after a New York judge waived a jury trial in former President Trump's civil fraud case and then fined the former president $364 million on Friday. Ridiculous sum of money, a frightening sum of money. The judge also barred Trump from doing business in the state for 3 years, and both his sons for doing business in the state for 2 years, all for allegedly, according to the AG, overinflating the value of his properties a bit to try and obtain better loans and terms on his loans, which makes no sense. Every real estate investor in the world does this, not lie about how much money you have, but put the highest value you can on your property. Nobody says, oh, my building's worth half of what the building across the street's worth. You always try and maximize the value of your property. That's just how it's done. And the bank knows this. It's why they do their own due diligence before writing the loan. They'll negotiate the terms of the loan. Eventually you come to an agreement. But what's so odd about all of this is that there isn't a victim in this case. Nobody went to the AG's office saying Trump stole my money. The bank didn't lose any money. In fact, the bank testified during the case that the Trump Organization was a great client and that they paid their loans back in full and on time. So what was the point of all of this? Did the Attorney General open this case looking for a crime? That'd be a bit scary, wouldn't it? If the government can just point to you and say, I don't like you, so I feel like investigating you, digging through your life, subpoenaing every business transaction you ever did to find something they can charge you with. Is that what happened? I don't know. But we do know Letitia James, the AG who brought the lawsuit, said this during her campaign for Attorney General. Watch this.
I look forward to going into the office of Attorney General every day, suing him, defending your rights, and then going home.
I say one name, Donald Trump. That should motivate you.
Will you sue him for us?
Oh, we're gonna definitely sue him. We're gonna be a real pain in the.
So look, whether you like Trump or not, it's immaterial. What they did to him in this case is wrong. They can do it to him, they can do it to you. It's got nothing to do with politics, and that's what these truckers are now saying. They know what happened here, and they're upset by it. This isn't a political thing. Every real estate investor knows this is crazy. Before we look at what these truckers are planning on doing tomorrow, just real quick, watch Kevin O'Leary, someone who is definitely not a Trump fan.
And tomorrow is today. What time is it? Yeah, I'm on the East Coast, so it's 9:30 in New York City. Yeah, what is it, 9:30?
Not a political pundit, just a regular business guy, a real estate investor, give his take on this. Watch this.
You've been doing real estate for decades. Does this case strike you as odd?
Well, let's leave out Trump for a minute, and let's leave out politics and just talk about what happens in real estate development anywhere. So if you're a developer and you've got a building on a block anywhere in America and it's worth, let's say, $500 million, and you want to build a building right beside it, you go to the bank and say, this building is worth $500 million. I'd like to borrow a construction finance loan against this asset, and I want you to tell me it's worth $500 million too. And the bank negotiates with you and says, well, no, we think it's worth $400 million. And you fight it out. You're always trying to show your assets in the brightest light with the sunshine you can possibly determine for them. You want them to be worth the very most, because you're only going to get a 40 or 50% loan to value, as it's called. Then you borrow that money. In the case of a $500 million asset, maybe you get $250 million, and you build a new building with a construction finance loan. And so that's what this case is all about. And by the way, forget about Trump. Every single real estate developer everywhere on earth does this. They always talk about their asset being worth a lot, and the bank says no. And that's just the way it is. So in this case, what I'm trying to figure out, and I'm not pro or con, or I don't care about the politics, who lost money? Nobody. The bank got paid back the construction finance loan, and a new building was built. And if you're going to sue this case and win, you got to sue every real estate developer everywhere. This is all they do. This is what they do all day long, every day. So I don't think this thing will ever survive.
Deal after deal. They're not flipping houses, flipping properties. They're keeping it. It's just that's what they wouldn't let me do. You know, because I had wanted to get up to apartment complexes. I really didn't want to do, like, I don't know. By now, who knows what I would have been into? You know, there's speculation. But my goal was just apartment complexes, commercial property. But that was 05, damn near 20 years ago. But we'll see by the end of this year how things go.
Appeal, regardless of what the fine is. This doesn't even make sense. Now, look, I know Trump's got a lot of problems in other indictments and everything else, but this, if you're a real estate developer, you're watching this, you're saying, what is this? This is ridiculous.
And look, the banks themselves even said they had no problem with the numbers that the Trump Organization gave them. And if the bank had wanted, they could have required Trump get the building or buildings reappraised instead of taking his word for what he believed the value to be. Anyway, so this is where we are, right? The Trump Organization now has to pay this.
That's what I said weeks ago when I made a video, months ago, probably in January or December. That's exactly what I said. When I realized, wait a minute, that's what we all do. When they finally told what the New York case was about, I'm like, that's what I did. Even like I said, remember I was pointing at houses. I'm like, it's just larger scale, obviously. Say somebody want to sell that house, and like I said, in Birmingham, they'll have the neighborhoods like this. There'll be houses that's fucked up, like in Detroit. There's just like that, but imagine the siding is fucked up, the grass is overgrown, maybe even need a new, what do you call it? Motherfucking driveway, whatever. The roof might need new roofing, and so they're selling it for $13,000. You can go to certain, not just regular banks, they might not do it, but they got the what's it called? I forgot the name of it, but anyway, you go to them, short-term loans or whatever, and they'll give you the money to pay for it, the $13,000, and probably 15 or 20 to rehab the house. And yeah, you could sell it. Well, really, you're supposed to sell it, all right, but it's still the same concept. They get their appraisers, you get yours. You pay for yours, they say, yeah, the house is worth 13. They look at the area, and once it's fixed, it's gonna look like one of these. Yeah, it's worth 80 or 90. So they gonna definitely get their money back, and you gonna get a little $20 profit, 20,000 profit. Once you paid 13, and then you got a $20,000 loan, so they gave you 40,000 altogether. And you bought the house and you sold it for 90. That's flipping. So you can pay them back their money with a little interest, and you got your nice $30,000 profit. It's the same concept. That's what I said, but that's the process is the same. You go with your property and what you want to do. And matter of fact, he owned the property or whatever. That's what he's talking about. You own the property. That's collateral, right? You putting up your property as the collateral. So say you own the house or you inherit that house, and now you just want to get a loan, fix it, and sell it. That's more like what they're saying. Or not even sell it or whatever. But this is commercial property. You're going to keep it. But that would be like I want to do. You renting it out. Getting income from it. This and that. And since you got a big company, you got other properties. This is just what you're doing. You do that. You start little, and now you got so many properties. Yeah, you just go in. And like he's saying in this video, the bankers in New York wanted to testify that they had no problem with Trump, and he was actually, obviously, a great customer because he always paid back. What he did, and bring more deals. There's more money for them. You taking money out the banks, and it's not illegal. They ain't do nothing wrong. So if you just black and mad that you can't think of getting into it, they want to. That's their problem. Oh, it's the good old boys club. It's like, no, it ain't. A real businessman don't give a fuck. Money is green, not black or white.
All right, the Trump organization now has to pay this crazy fine, $360-something million, a massive fine. Is that intended to force him into bankruptcy? I don't know. It just strikes me as crazy, and regular truckers from around the country agree. So, like I said at the beginning of the video, all this began with one truck driver who goes by the name of Chicago One Ray, who posted this video. It's about 2 minutes long, but has since gone mega viral. Watch this.
Hey folks, your old pal Chicago Ray. I've been on the radio talking to drivers for about the last hour 15 minutes. And I'm talking to at least 10 drivers going the other way. I'm heading down from South Wisconsin. And they're going to start refusing loads in New York City starting on Monday. All right? I got about 3 drivers that I drive with. They already vibrated the boss and told them they ain't going to New York City. So, I don't know how far across the country this is, or how many truckers are going to start denying loads to going to New York City. But I'll tell you what, you look around and find out. Okay?
Now, other large influencers and huge X accounts started reposting and sharing the video as well. And now there's truckers posting photos of themselves with their rigs. We're talking like thousands of these, vowing to refuse any New York City delivery. And Boycott NYC is like trending right now. Hundreds of thousands of posts about this on X. Now, will this all catch on? Will enough truckers get on board for this to be effective and send a message? It remains to be seen. We do know Canada's Freedom Convoy in 2022 absolutely did. It created an international incident. It was so successful and resulted in the Trudeau government enacting the Emergencies Act for the first time in Canada's history to forcefully remove the blockades, especially the trucks that were near the Ambassador Bridge that connect, I think, Detroit to Canada, if I'm not mistaken. In fact, Justin Trudeau is still dealing with all the repercussions of how he handled that, as last month the federal court found the Trudeau government broke the law by freezing protesters' bank accounts, and like the whole response that they did was just unconstitutional, the court said. But this is a bit different. This time the truckers won't be forming any blockades. Instead, they're just refusing to take loads destined for New York City. Again, there's no way to know yet, how effective it's going to be, but it has the potential to cause mass disruptions for New York businesses and residents on the island. If deliveries don't come, how long until stores begin to run out of items before shelves start going bare? We'll keep an eye on it. All right, that wraps up this episode. Like, subscribe. We'll see you next time. Also, don't forget to check out our new...
And then another thing, back with the Fanny chick that they keep getting mad about. Like I said, even they can't. The girl, I didn't, whatever. It's just she is so hood rat, and I'm not the only one calling her that. And no, it don't matter, man. It's all over the world, you dumbass. All over the world does it like that. You're stupid, all right? It's not forgiving. You're stupid. Just stop. Stop. Nobody's saying agrees with you. Why are you even talking? That's just stupid. Please stop saying how stupid you are. It's embarrassing. I'm embarrassed for you. I really am. It's embarrassing. Stop.
I'm working on this.
And like they said, the banks aren't mad at them. Any bank, they're not mad. You dumbass. It ain't about forgiving. This is big time. Just stop. Please stop embarrassing yourself.
Missing scientist. Frozen solid.
And your corrupt judge, why everybody knows this case on appeal ain't gonna stand because he didn't let nobody testify. And like they said, there's no fucking victims. The bitch is stupid. Like you.
Don't waste any time. Let's go ahead.
And I certainly will not be choosing people to date that work under me. Let me just say that. We are at a place in society where things happen in people's relationships, husband and wife. Sometimes there are outside relationships. Although there might be a moral breaking in that. I think that what citizens are really, really concerned about is if you chose to have inappropriate contact with employees. I mean, there's nothing that I can say on it other than it is distracting. It is certainly inappropriate for the number one law enforcement officer in the state. And it really, really saddens me. And it will be very unfortunate if the taxpayers of this community have to pay for any of those lawsuits. Because they deserve a DA that won't have with his employees. Because they deserve a DA that won't put money in their own pocket when it should go to benefit children. Listen, let's go on and have a conversation.
I'm just asking you whether or not it was a coincidence.
It had absolutely nothing to do with this. It's interesting that we're here about this money. Mr. Wade is used to women, as he told me one time, the only thing a woman can do for him is make him a sandwich. We would have brutal arguments about the fact that I am your equal. I don't need anything from a man. A man is not a plan. A man is a companion.
see how they all get on board. They still on board with the Democrat shit. Now that the girl Fanny that we keep talking about, they putting it out there that she ain't from Atlanta. It don't matter. She's one of y'all. That's what we keep talking about. It ain't about out of towners. No, remember I keep telling y'all, it don't matter. We'll just say it. Like gangs. You're a different set. You just from a different set. That's all. But you're still a Democrat. It's just if you don't understand that, a fraternity. What's your chapter? Oh, we're out of Southern California at UCLA or da 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 da. That's our chapter. It's all the same. Don't matter. She's in Atlanta. She's the same, AKA or whatever the fuck she is. Ski or whatever the fuck she is. It don't matter if she ain't from Georgia. She's a Democrat. She's one of them sorority, these hoes and this and that. And she shouldn't have been in this position. We know who put her there, George Soros. That's the end of it. But anyway, that's what only thing I keep talking about. Y'all keep trying to find some reason. There's always something, that y'all just can't say it's the difference. Because she's black too. I'm talking about the girl talking. It's her video. I like her videos, but she still, she can't just admit what it. That's because she's a woman. So they gonna die. They still gonna go down. I don't mean literally, but I'm talking about go down with the ship. Trying to find some other reason to stay on the ship. No, it's cause she a transplant from out of town. It don't matter. It don't matter. Joe Biden is y'all leader. Don't matter what city you from.
Black woman to hold the position, but the first woman ever to hold the position. She completely embarrassed black women by getting up there confirming every negative stereotype associated with black American women. And not just on the national stage, but the international stage, because these clips went out everywhere. We're going to talk about it, but first, take a second to make sure you're subscribed to the channel and click the notification bell for all updates. Won't waste any time, let's go ahead and get into it.
In summary, each change, she files her financial declarations, same problem. We need a rep here to go over all of this and to explain exactly what happened. So we was asked the court that the court allowed Ms. Willis to be called and interrogated on these matters.
And I would too, Your Honor.
Just a moment as well.
Right out the gate, she walked in the courtroom all sassy with her hand on her hip. She threw a paper down on the table. She just standing up there huffing and puffing. Look at her, huffing and puffing and breathing. Walked over, plopped down in her seat, started giving orders, and was ready to show her behind.
I would ask, I need 3 documents in front of me, and there were 3 filings of Ms. Merchant. 3 filings.
Still up there huffing and puffing. She's so upset, fuming. She's like, the nerve of these people to come and try to tell me what I can do, to try to hold me accountable. She's supposed to be able to do whatever she wants.
Whatever, I do what I want.
If you paid more than $15 on tax preparation last year, you need to visit Free Tax USA.
Whatever, I do what I want.
Has he ever visited you at the place you laid your head?
So let's be clear, because you've lied in this. Let me tell you which one you lied in. Right here. I think you lied right here.
No. This is the truth, Judge. And it is a lie. It is a lie.
Well, Mr. Sena, thank you. We're going to take 5 minutes.
And the crazy thing is, you had a lot of black women, yes, girling this behavior, proving just how intellectually undeveloped and immature black women are. They thought her behavior was acceptable because she was being accused of something. All I gotta say is, any civilians, go and try that in any other courtroom and see what happens to you. The yelling, being disrespectful, throwing stuff.
Especially in a small Democrat town, not small, Atlanta, Birmingham. Try that with one of them judges. A black judge at that, an old black man. Oh, in Birmingham, that's your ass. You wouldn't tell. He don't give it. It might be just city court. He gonna give it everything he can. It is just city jail, but you gonna be sitting your ass up in there. And they don't care. They don't care. They the motherfuckers. You gonna learn. You know how they talk down south. You gonna learn. And then she in Atlanta, but they let her get away with that shit. Like she said, like the girl just said, you go try that shit in a courtroom in Atlanta and see what happens. It ain't gonna be no white man. It's gonna be, you might even be another city girl judge. She ain't gonna take that shit. She ain't gonna take it herself.
All over the place. Just try it out and see what happens to you.
But it was so bad, the judge took a break for like 5 minutes to give this hyena a chance to calm down. I mean, she was really acting like a wild bird. You had several people who testified, and none of them, not one, behaved like she did. Not even Nathan Wade, who also had to deal with accusations. Out of everybody else that took the stand, she was the only one who was out of order like this. And no, yelling and slamming stuff on the table and rolling your neck and speaking all out of turn and crazy, that doesn't mean you're right. You just look like a fool. This lady is grandma age, acting like an out of control middle school girl who just got her phone taken away.
You had contact with Mr. Wade in the year 2020, correct?
I had some contact with Mr. Wade.
Would you explain when you say some contact? Please tell us. Talk about 2020.
I had some contact with Mr. Wade in 2020. One of the reasons your allegations are so preposterous on Miss Merchants that you have joined is...
Ma'am, I didn't ask you about the allegations. I asked you about your contact.
And the reason why she's trying to go around this is because she lied about when they started messing around. She's trying to establish a date was after he was contracted, but according to a witness, a former employee and longtime friend of the DA, the romance was established in 2019.
That's all I ask you, okay? I appreciate that you want to say something, but I'm interested in, did you have contacts with Mr. Wade in 2020? And your answer so far has been yes, correct?
Very limited contact because Mr. Wade had a form of cancer that makes your allegations somewhat ridiculous.
And I do appreciate the
I'm not going
characterization.
to emasculate a black man, but I'm just telling you.
I'm sorry, what?
I'm not going to emasculate a black man. Did you understand that? So I don't think we should discuss further.
Mr. Saya, next question. Trying to, Your Honor.
And that's the point where she pulled the black card to get out of the question. That was her strategy. Let me say black man to a white man right now in front of all these cameras. And if he continued to push, he'll look like the villain. Kind of like when women bring up sensitive issues and arguments with men to shut down the conversation. The truth is, no one questioned her about his cancer or the type of cancer. She's the only one who volunteered that information and insinuated something very private was going on. And no, I'm not going to repeat it. Every grown-up here is aware of what she was trying to say. She said, I'm not going to emasculate a black man, as she attempted to do just that. Now, it's a great soundbite, but you have to go back and listen to the whole thing. I see exactly what she's doing. She's campaigning to get black men on her side. All of a sudden, she's trying to come off as pro-black when she's been a black feminist and actively going against black men the whole time. And no, she is not a chameleon. She's been very upfront and outspoken with her feminist-defined attitude. A lot went on at this hearing. Most black people who heard sound bites, they're yes-girling her with all the black girl magic. But I watched it all, and I heard something a lot different, like prosecutorial misconduct, campaign finance violations, misuse of public funds, money laundering, and the IRS agents taking notes in the background.
Why, how stupid would I be to do that?
I didn't say
That's stupid, guys. Is this camera on me?
Yes.
That's stupid. Use your common sense.
Way out of order and unethical even by her own standards before she was elected.
And I certainly will not be choosing people to date that work under me. Let me just say that.
Because they deserve a DA that won't have with his employees.
Let's go ahead and get the conversation started. Let me know what you think below. Special thank you to our sister Glamping Diva Jules. I appreciate you for all this.
Alright, so yeah, it is still more, but I ain't got time for all I gotta make it run. But this shit is just out of control, crazy. All the for these cases, New York, like I said, like we all say, the whole world is watching, and they're trying to act like this is some kind of personal black folk stuff. Why y'all in our business? You know, like a local. You know, just some local shit, you know, a small time black DA is getting in trouble and they're like, we can handle it. Why is everybody, the whole world all worried about Atlanta GA right now? It's like y'all literally trying, you know, election interference with it. Ain't happened yet. Election ain't, you know, we got months, but still, And then they try to act like you can't say anything because they got a black woman, you know, to do their dirty work. And not a smart black woman. She got two dummies. Embarrassments. But anyway, that's all I got. There's some more shit, but I ain't got time to say it today.